Go to bed. Player says the room is sparse compared to what I'm used to. Player says, did you drop this, Casper? Casper says, no, I don't think so, Master. Casper says, that script looks beautiful, Master Andreas. Did you write that? Player says, you were warned. Casper says, warned? What does that mean? Warned about what? Option 1 of 3 has to do with the murder that happened the last time I was here. Option 2 of 3, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Option 3 of 3, say nothing. Option 1 of 3, Casper says, how? I thought they caught the murderer. Player says, yes, but it's complicated. Let's just head up to the library, Casper. Casper says, all right, Master. Golden Hand Inn. Golden Hand Guest Room. Golden Hand Guest Room. Hannah. Hannah says, hello, Master Mailer. Hannah. Golden Hand Guest Room. Golden Hand Guest Room. Killian. Nico. Samuel. Samuel says, hello, Andreas. Nico says, hello, Andreas. Killian says, good day, Master Mailer. Meadow. Golden Hand Inn. Mill, Petchlaw, Forest. Lower Abbey. Upper Abbey. Lower Abbey. Church. Upper Abbey. Monastery Loquarium. Cloister, Crypt, Tower, Rudger. Dormitory, Old Matthew, Sacristy. Matthew, Old Bailey. Church. Scriptorium. Old Bailey. Zedna. Library. Zedna. Zedna says, oh, Andreas. You're back. Option 1 of 3, hello, Sister Zedna. Option 2 of 3, you seem surprised to see me. Zedna says, only surprised at how much you've grown in stature. A master artist now, I see. You know, I've grown as well. In a variety of ways. Option 1 of 3, oh. You'll have to show me sometime. Option 2 of 3, sister, that night was just that, one night. Option 3 of 3, Sister Zedna, I appreciate your interest, but... Option 1 of Zedna says, ugh, Andreas. I'm not indulging you again. Option 1 of 2, indulging me. You practically threw yourself at me. Option 2 of 2, wait, was it that bad? Zedna says, ha. No, it wasn't. But what happened afterward was bothersome. Thank God Sister Gertrude knows her plans. Player says, I don't. Oh. You fell pregnant. Zedna says, SHH. Yes. Thankfully Sister Gertrude helped me end it before a fortnight had passed, so the fetus was yet unformed. Option 1 of 3, I am sorry I put you in that position. Option 2 of 3, at least nothing really terrible came of the matter. Option 3 of 3, convenient. I don't need rumors about how I sired a bastard from a nun. Option 1 of Zedna says, I chose that path as much as you did, Andreas. I'm living with the consequences. If Sister Gertrude's remedy hadn't worked, I would have been defrocked, and my family would have disowned me. I nearly lost everything. All for one stupid fling with you. I was sick for days on end, and still have terrible cramps, but still, it's not as bad as it could have been. Option 1 of 3, I am grateful Sister Gertrude was able to keep you well. Option 2 of 3 I expected that you would have been aware of the risk. Option 3 of 3 remain silent. Zidna says what, nothing to say? You really are an ass, Andreas. Ugh. It's not like you'd understand what this sort of thing does to a woman, anyway. I need to return to my duties. Bless you, Andreas Mailer. Player says until later, sister. Zidna. Old Bailey. Old Bailey. Scriptorium. Old Bailey. Scriptorium. Old Bailey. The scriptorium fell into disrepair quickly after Father Gernot closed the library. Old Bailey. Zidna. Library. Library. Scriptorium. Illuminata. Scriptorium. Illuminata. Illuminata says God bless you, Andreas. It has been too long. I know Father Abbot made it clear you were not to return when you left, but we had hoped to hear from you. Player says yes, my apologies. You're right, of course. Option 1 of 2 it's good to see you again, Mother Illuminata. Option 2 of 2 good day, Mother Illuminata. This is option 1 of 2, option 2 of 2 good day, Mother Illuminata. This is my apprentice, Casper Ziegler, from Salzburg. Option 1 of 2 it's good to Casper says God bless you, Mother Superior. Illuminata says God bless you, young Casper. Zidna says no greeting for your favorite library helper? Option 1 of 2 Sister Zidna. Option 2 of 2 it's good to see you, sister. Option 1 of 2 Sister Zidna. Zidna says. Illuminata says I'm sorry you have to see it in such a state. It sees very little use these days. Player says what happened? Illuminata says after Baron Rothvogel's murder, we had fewer and fewer wealthy patrons. The small number that held out lost interest. It's easier to commission new work from the Guild of St. Luke or individual masters in big cities like Nuremberg. Father Gernot saw no reason to keep the scriptorium or library open. Most of the books here have been suffering of neglect. After Mother Cecilia's death, neither I nor Sister Zidna had the time to maintain our inventory. Option 1 of 3 that's terrible. Kiersau was one of the last monastic scriptoria in Bavaria. Option 2 of 3 Piero did say it was going to happen sooner or later. Option 3 of 3 I would have guessed it was unprofitable years ago. Option 1 of 3 Illuminata says as Brother Piero was fond of saying, all things change in time. Now all that remains are books for sale to interested parties, a task that Father Gernot has entrusted to me. Zidna says. Illuminata says and Sister Zidna, of course. Option 1 of 2 well, I'm eager to look through your inventory. Option 2 of 2 I don't even know where to start. Option 1 of 2 well, Casper says Master Andreas, maybe you could find a book for little Magdalene, something that's not in print yet. Player says excellent idea, Casper. Illuminata. Illuminata says take your time. Make sure you've looked through the whole collection. Journal.
Recognizing result document for its encrypted title quadrant. Journal maps. Libris. Yesterday, Brother Guy extended an invitation from the abbot to buy books from. Pierce's Tiverty. I should meet Mother. Illuminata there. Group. LP. Agrituyak. People glossary. Close. Close. Pentiment.
Illuminata. Read. Read. Player says Partible. Perhaps Claus would not object to this romance given its emphasis on Christian virtues. The German is a little dated, but I'm sure she'll figure it out with Claus' help. Who knows? Maybe it will inspire her imagination. Illuminata. 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 Illuminata says take your time. Make sure you've looked through the whole collection. Illuminata. Read. Read. Player says huh. I think these are Latin translations of some of Origen's homilies. Also, it looks like it's partially burned. Probably not a great gift for a young G. Wait. This is the same bookhand as the notes I found when the Baron was murdered. Whoever wrote this is responsible for writing the notes. I need to ask Illuminata about this. Read. Player says, oh. Richard the Barry's Philobiblon. It's a text on the collection and preservation of books. Maybe this is where Illuminata and Cecilia learned all their tricks. Certainly a good book for a printer's daughter. Read. Player says a copy of Jacobus de Voragin's Golden Legend. Every good Christian should know the legends of the saints. And the Latin is simple enough that she should be able to read it before long. Illuminata says take your time. Make sure you've looked through the whole collection. Illuminata. 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 Take your time. Make sure you've looked through the whole collection. Illuminata. Illuminata. Read. Player says Albertus Magnus de Animalibus. It's ostensibly a bestiary, but it contains so much more knowledge on a variety of topics. This could inspire an interest in animals and the natural world. Beautiful illustrations as well. Illuminata. 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 Illuminata says, have you decided on any books to purchase? Player says yes, just one. Option 1 of 4, the copy of Albertus Magnus de Animalibus. Option 2 of 4, Jacobus de Voragen's Golden Legend. Illuminata says, an excellent book, even if some of the legends may be exaggerated. Option 1 of 2, thank you. Illuminata says, may you find the same inspiration in it that I have. Player says, oh, this is for Magdalene Druckerin, Claus' daughter. Illuminata says, a good choice for a young woman. She can learn Latin and the lives of the saints. I hope she enjoys it. Is there anything else you need? Player says yes. Mother Illuminata, what do you know about this book? Illuminata says, I don't know anything. This is the first time I've seen it. Where did you find it? Zedna says, I've seen it on one of the lower shelves. I don't think it's in our catalog. Player says, it's burned around the edges. Why? How can I find out where it came from? Who wrote it? Illuminata says, if it's not in our catalog, I'm afraid I don't know whom you could ask. If it was a recent edition, the only people who would know are Mother Cecilia and Father Matthias. Option 1 of 2, right, and I didn't bring any books for summoning. Option 2 of 2, that's a shame, because whoever scribed this book wrote the letters I found while investigating the Baron's murder. Illuminata says, the ones in the fine book hand? Brother Edoc told me about them. Perhaps he knows something about this book. He's been here longer than any of us. Zedna says, why would the person who wrote the letters have scribed the book in our library? Player says, well, that's the question. Whoever did it is the thread puller. Casper says, huh? Player says, someone who was manipulating people at Gearsaw and Tassing, pulling at threads to provoke someone into killing the Baron. Casper says, I thought one of the brothers killed the Baron. Player says he did, but the Baron was lured to the chapter house by someone who knew Gearsaw and Tassing's secrets. Illuminata says, well, I'm afraid we can't be of any more help to you in determining the book's provenance. However, as it's not in our catalog and it's already damaged, I doubt Father Abbot would mind if you kept it. Player says, excellent. Thank you. I'm glad someone bothered to save it from the flames. Illuminata. Journal.
Recognizing result document NMCCPC test for journal maps. Libris. D. St. Yesterday, Brother Guy extended an invitation from Cursus Tivoli. Illuminata there. White perusing books for Magdalene. Liberty. I stumbled upon one with handwriting that matches the notes I discovered here in 1518. The writing in this book is not in the same curious purple ink, but the hand is unmistakable. Act 2. Theopolisary. Nav that one have a book to give to Magdalene. Casper and I shall head over to the recurse with Emil used of the Eurocena. Better mood than he was yesterday. Group. Secti. Close. Close. Pentiment.
Illuminata. Scriptorium. Library. Zedna. Zedna. Zedna says, greetings, Master Mailer. Old Bailey. Player says the scriptorium fell into disrepair quickly after Father Jernach. Old Bailey. Scriptorium. Prior's house. Old Bailey. Old Bailey. Old Bailey. Prior's house. Scriptorium. Cemetery. Old Bailey. Animal pens. Mother Cecilia, 1463 to 1522. The headstone is well made. Her family must have commissioned it. Mother Cecilia, 1463 to 1522. The headstone is cloistered. Cemetery. Kitchen and cellar. Kitchen and cellar. Refectory. Cellar. Large garden. Large garden. Cellar. Refectory. Cloister. Refectory. Kitchen and cellar. Edok, map, Wojslav. Bird, map, Edok. Edok says God bless you, Andreas. Gernot says God bless you, Andreas. Matthew, Bird says God bless you, Master Andreas. Matthew says God bless you, Bird, Wojslav. Player says when the brothers eat their meals, this is where the lector reads to them. Wojslav says God bless you, Andreas. Florian says hello, Andreas. Rutger says God bless you, Andreas. Florian, large garden. Florian, Rutger. Mapter, Edok. Kitchen and Lucas, cloister. Lucas says God bless you, Master Mailer. Kitchen and cellar. Kitchen and cellar. Refectory. Cellar. Cellar. Kitchen and cellar. Kitchen and cellar. Feed cat. Kitchen and cellar. Kitchen and cellar. Cellar. Refectory. Cloister. Kitchen and cellar. Dormitory. Dormitory. Cloister. Church. Old Bailey. Church. Cloister. Dormitory. Church. Refectory. Courtyard and large garden. Courtyard and lavatorium. Cloister. 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 Courtyard and lavatorium. Large garden. Chapter house. Infirmary. Upper Abbey. Infirmary. Player says St. Luke. The patron of artists is also the patron of healers. Most of these medicines were made by Agnes Steinoren with some help from Sister Gertrude. Cloister. Infirmary. Chapter house. Cloister. Large garden. Cloister. Chapter house. Monastery loquarium. Monastery loquarium. Cloister. Church. Church. Cloister. Monastery chapter house. Infirmary. Upper Abbey. Church. Lower Abbey. Guy. Shrine. Shrine. Guy. Guy says Andreas. Player says Brother Guy. What are you doing out here? Guy says Father Gernot has asked me to inform the townsfolk that the shrine is closed. Option 1 of 3 closed. With everything going on? Whatever. Option 2 of 3 has something happened to the shrine? Option 3 of 3 you can't close the shrine of St. Moritz. Option 1 of 3 closed. With everything going on? Whatever for. Guy says Father Abbot has ordered that we bring the hand into the church. The pilgrims are still welcome to come in and visit the relic, but it is off limits to the townsfolk. Player says what? What? Guy says the abbot has had enough of the peasants and townsfolk rebelling against the abbey. He is their rightful lord. The abbot has been more than generous, but he will not let this 12 articles drivel pass. The abbot refuses to leave the relic at risk of destruction. The hand of St. Moritz is the only thing keeping the abbey open. Option 1 of 4 I see. How long will the shrine stay closed? Option 2 of 4 but Tassing relies on St. Moritz just as much as the abbey. What about option 3 of 4 so this is about money? The pilgrims bring donations, but the townsfolk don't? Option 4 of 4 so he's punishing the town further? Option 1 of 4 I see. Guy says as long as the peasants keep at this foolishness, I expect. The abbot is trying to protect the relic, nothing more. Option 1 of 3 what about the peasants' complaints? Option 2 of 3 I somehow doubt that's the only thing on his mind. Option 3 of 3 no one wants to destroy the hand of St. Moritz, Guy. Option 1 of 3 what about the peasants' complaints? Guy says Father Abbot has done all he can. Until the peasants can see reason, the relic will remain in the church. Option 1 of 2 I pray the townsfolk and the abbey can resolve this quickly, then. Option 2 of 2 this is ridiculous and cruel, brother Guy, even for the abbot. Option 1 of 2 I pray that Guy says as do I God bless you, Andreas. Guy. Shrine. Convent garden. Shrine. Guy. Lower Abbey. Church. Lower Abbey. Upper Abbey. Meadow. Lower Abbey. Forest. Petschlaw, Mill. Golden Hand Inn, Church and Druckers. Meadow. Thomas. Thomas says God bless you, Andreas. Our Lady of Mill. Our Thomas. Our Mill. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. Church and Druckers. Adelia. Player says. Option 1 of 2 a painting of the Virgin Mary. What does the labyrinth symbolize? Option 2 of 2 this must be the labyrinth the church is named after. Interesting. Option 1 of 2 a painting of the Virgin Mary. What does the labyrinth symbolize? Player says. Option 1 of 2 option 2 of 2 this must be the labyrinth the church is named after. Interesting. Adelia. Adelia says you're that artist who came here a few years ago, around the time of the murder. Option 1 of 2 yes, I'm Andreas Mailer. Option 2 of 2 true. I came to pay my respects to Brother Piero at the Abbey. Option 1 of 2 yes, I'm Adelia says right. I know your name. Player says do you work for Father Thomas? Adelia says work for. I'm his slave. I clean this damn church and keep his house so I have a roof over my head. Around the time the Baron was murdered, I lost my home. That bastard, the abbot, took it from me. Now I have to rely on the charity of the church. I hate the church as much as the abbey. I wish there were a hell so I could send a lot of these holy men there. Option 1 of 3 I am surprised Father Thomas lets you stay here. Option 2 of 3 sorry I asked. Option 3 of 3 I understand. Option 2 of 3 sorry I asked. Adelia says you should be. Player says alright. Well, I'll see you later. Adelia says fine. Adelia. Church and Druckers. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. Mill. Else. Player says good morning, Mistress Millerin. Else says good morning, Master Mailer. My husband has been talking about your arrival. We're pleased you've done so well for yourself. Option 1 of 3 thank you. I see the mill's been doing well. Option 2 of 3 all the fame has only brought more toil. Option 3 of 3 he didn't seem so interested in me last time I was here. Option 2 of 3 all the fame has only brought more toil. I've been traveling almost non-stop. Option 1 of 3 thank you. I see the mill's been doing well. Else says Lenhart works relentlessly to keep it in good condition. He's very proud of it. It's unique, in these parts. Inspired by the designs used in the north. So it's very profitable too, and that's important to Lenhart. Who is this young man? Player says Casper, my apprentice. Casper says hello, mistress. Else says oh, you must meet my darling Paul. He would love to meet someone his age pursuing art. Just, not where Lenhart can see. Option 1 of 2 I am sure we can arrange that. Option 2 of 2 if his father wouldn't approve, maybe I shouldn't. Option 1 of 2 I else says that would be delightful, Master Mailer. Thank you both. Player says you are most welcome, else. Else says I must now return to my work, Master Mailer. Until later. Player says until then. Else. Muller House. Roman Ruins, Meadow. Roman Ruins. Muller House, else. Church, Outer Farms. Church, else. Muller House. Mill. Paul. Headstog. Paul. Paul says hello, Master Mailer. Player says hello. You're Paul, right? I don't think we spoke the last time I was in Tassing. Paul says yeah, I was just a kid then. Player says how are you doing? Paul says I'm alright. Dad keeps talking about his new gun. It scares me. Option 1 of 3 they read brutish weapons. Deadly when handled by the inexperienced, even for hunting. Option 2 of 3 I understand, Paul. While we were traveling, we saw rows of soldiers carrying guns. Option 3 of 3 firearms are just tools, Paul. There's no reason to be afraid of them. Option 2 of 3 I understand. Option 1 of 3, Paul says that's why it scares me. Dad likes to show it off, but he hasn't used it much. Option 1 of 2 that may be a blessing. Option 2 of 2 if he stopped trying to act like he's better than everyone else, maybe he'd be a better shot. Option 1 of 2 that may be a blessing. Paul says. I hope so. I should go. Forget I said anything, Master Mailer. Please. Until later. Player says until then. Paul. Mill. Lenhart. Lenhart says Andreas. Welcome back to Tassing. Option 1 of 3 hello, Lenhart. How's the option 2 of 3 Lenhart? Option 3 of 3 Option 1 of 3 hello, Lenhart. How's the mill? Lenhart says sturdy as ever, just like me. You look well. Not stuck with the Gertnas this time, eh? Option 1 of 2 no, I'm staying at the Golden Hand. Option 2 of 2 the Gertnas are lovely people, Lenhart. I didn't want to burden them, as I'll only be here a few days. Option 1 of 2 no, Lenhart says good. That Hannah is a good woman. She runs the place well. And far away from those tiresome old monks, too. Anyway, you should come by sometime. I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss. Good day, Andreas. Option 1 of 2 good day. Option 2 of 2 remain silent. Option 1 of 2 good day. Lenhart. Mill. Muller House. Else. Church, Outer Farms. Martha. Martha says hi. Player says hello. Are you Helena's daughter? Martha says I'm Martha. Player says I'm Andreas. Nice to meet you. Martha says alright. I'm going to go. Martha. Mill. Martha. Helena. Helena. Helena says Andreas Mailer. I never thought I'd see you back here again. Option 1 of 2 neither did I. Option 2 of 2 I came back to pay my respects to Brother Piero. Helena says I'm sorry. I didn't know the man, but I heard others speak well of him. Player says how have you been, Helena? Helena says well, little Martha managed to survive since your last visit, thank God. But lately, not so well. You must know about the taxes we have to deal with. Otto is trying to make the abbot see some sense, but I'm worried he's playing with fire. Carl and Peter and the other farmers support him, but it's dangerous to provoke the Duke. Anton's still too young to get mixed up in all this, and we have Martha to look after now. Option 1 of 3 it sounds like the peasants can't really survive with the way things are. Option 2 of 3 maybe the townsfolk can talk them down. Option 3 of 3 things already feel like they're getting out of hand. Option 1 of 3 Helena says it's going to be a hard winter, for certain. But I'd take a skinny husband over a dead one. I pray nothing happens to him. Now then, I'd best get back to my work. Until later, Andreas. Player says until then. Helena. Helena. Martha. Mill. Outer Farms. Church and else. Muller House. Else. Church and Druckers. Our Lady of the Labyrinth. Mill. Martin Bauer and Widow Kemperin. Drucker House. Central Town. Town Commons. Central Town. Drucker House. Church and Druckers. Magdalene. Claus. Magdalene says, bah. Claus. Claus says you're back. Good. We're almost ready to sit down to eat. Would you and Casper care to join us? Player says of course. Thank you, Claus. Claus says welcome back, Andreas, Casper. Andreas, these are my friends, Benjamin and Rachel Sommerfeld. They're on their way back to Prague. Benjamin says good day. Rachel says hello. Excuse me for not getting up. It's a bit difficult. Player says of course, I understand. It's nice to meet you both. Casper says hello. Magdalene says BPFFTBRRRRR. Hello. Player says that sounded like a real word, Claus. Claus says she's learning more of them every day. She'll be reading before long. Player says that's a wonderful segue to the gift that I brought her. Claus says oh. Option 1 of 3 consider it a small apology. Option 2 of 3 a book from the Abbey Library. Option 3 of 3 when's her birthday? Option 2 of 3 a book from the Abbey Library. Option 1 of 3 consider it a small apology. Claus says well, alright, let's see this small apology. Player says here you are. Claus says the Golden Legend. Not a bad choice. I don't think I have any printed copies. Option 1 of 2 lucky me. Option 2 of 2 maybe you can make one now. Option 1 of 2 lucky me. Claus says thanks for this. It's a nice thought. We should probably pray before we eat, assuming the Sommerfelds don't mind. Benjamin says not at all. We're accustomed to being guests in Christian homes. Rachel says thank you for asking, Claus. Claus says alright. I'll lead the prayer, then. Bless us, O Lord, and these, your gifts, which we are about to receive from your bounty. Through Christ, our Lord. Amen. Casper says, Magdalene says Amen. Player says Amen. Rachel says Claus, thank you again for letting us stay here. It's been such a long trip. Oh. Benjamin says is it time? Rachel says no, I'm fine, I think. I'm just sore everywhere. Oof. Anyway, we'd hoped to get home weeks ago, but the fighting has made it slow progress from Basel. Option 1 of 3 is your home in Prague. Option 2 of 3 Basel? Tassing is hardly on the way to Prague. Option 3 of 3 has the fighting come close? Option 2 of 3 Basel? Benjamin says we'd rather not get caught up in battles between the Swabian League and peasants, so we've taken a strange route. We were in Basel to do some business, but we didn't want to overstay our welcome. Player says is it really so bad for Jews there? Benjamin says let's just say they've gone back and forth enough on Jews in Basel that it's best not to feel too comfortable. Rachel says we felt comfortable enough with our host, but Benjamin is right, we couldn't stay long. Benjamin says do you know the printer Johann Froben? Player says how could I not be? He's turned Basel into the pride of Swiss printing. He has incredible artists working for him. Benjamin says all true, and we certainly don't mind that he publishes books in Hebrew. Rachel says that's why we visited. Benjamin and I are creating a Hebrew type for him. Benjamin says it turns out that when your town banishes all the Jews, you have a more difficult time finding Jews to work for you. Rachel says who could have guessed? I just wish it hadn't taken us so long to get home. We have so far to go still. Claus says it's lucky timing for me, though. Now I have 2 printers and master artist at my dinner table. Rachel says true. It isn't all misfortune. Magdalene says daddy. Claus says oh, yes, thank you. And a future printer and baby printer to be. Tassing hasn't seen this many artists under one roof in a while. Option 1 of 3 it's amazing to see how far printing has come so quickly. Option 2 of 3 what have you been working on in Prague? Option 3 of 3 well, the skills for printing and painting are not that similar. Option 1 of 3 it's amazing to see how far printing has come so quickly. Some of the engravings I've seen are incredible. Claus says and new techniques, new types, new styles are being developed every year. Rachel says Benjamin is trying to create a more readable script for Yiddish. Benjamin says we have typefaces for Hebrew, but it would be nice to have something separate for Yiddish. Option 1 of 2 how novel? Option 2 of 2 is there much demand for that? Option 1 of 2 how novel? Rachel says yes, it's still a developing typeface, and usually only used in Jewish women's books. Benjamin says I'd like our writing to be more accessible, especially to those who only read Yiddish. Benjamin says here, something like this. I'll be sure to send you some samples when I'm finished, Klaus. Klaus says good. I'd like th. Rachel says oh. Benjamin says. Rachel says I'm. Yes, I'm fine. Klaus, what are you working on? Klaus says I need to get ready to sell to travelers as the pass is open, but lately I've been printing the 12 articles for the town. Magdalene says 12 articles. Klaus says thanks to Father Thomas, everyone in town can read at least well enough to make it through that sheet. It's got a lot of people talking and a lot are coming over to Otto's way of thinking. Well, you heard him yourself, Andreas. What do you think of what's happening in Tassing? Option 1 of 3 I think the abbot is in a difficult position and he's just trying to find a way through it. Option 2 of 3 the abbey's finances were bad 7 years ago. Even the scriptorium was largely reliant on the grace and pity of wealthy patrons. Option 3 of 3 the abbot's always been an ass. What do you expect? Option 1 of 3 I think the Klaus says well, can he find a way through that isn't on the backs of every farmer in this town? They've been dealing with these tax difficulties for years, now they can't even use the forest. The abbot must be able to appeal to some higher authority for aid. Option 1 of 3 who? The Pope? The Duke of Bavaria may lend him military aid, but money is unlikely. Option 2 of 3 he could try to sit down with Otto and work something out. Option 3 of 3 that's not really how it works. The abbot is the lord of the land and owes money to his superiors. Option 1 of 3 who? Klaus says well then it's the abbot's problem to fix. The peasants don't need to bear the brunt of it. Select food item to eat. Apple pie. Apple pie. Apple pie. Apple pie. Apple pie. Apple pie. Benjamin says we're sympathetic to what's happening here. We saw it all throughout Swabia. Peasants are suffering. Rachel says it's true, but I worry about what will happen in Tassing. B. Ow. Benjamin says. Rachel says I'm fine. Peasants are no match for the soldiers of the Swabian League. Casper says what is the Swabian League? Option 1 of 3 soldiers of the Swabian nobility, meant to keep peace in the empire. Option 2 of 3 mercenaries, soldiers for hire. They rally for coin, not for cause. Option 3 of 3 bastards who think they can crush people for the crime of standing up for themselves. Option 2 of 3 mercenaries, soldiers for hire. Benjamin says we can't speak to their motives, as we tried to stay far from them, but they were intimidating even at a distance. Rachel says if the peasants aren't careful, Tassing could draw the wrong sort of attention. Klaus says I know that Otto and the peasants are taking a risk, but I believe Otto will keep things peaceful. Anyway, it's not the Swabian League we have to worry about, but the soldiers of the Duke of Bavaria. Magdalene says Bavaria. Klaus says the Prince Bishop has the church's authority, but the Duke's lands surround Tassing and Giersaw. Select food item to eat. White bread. White bread. Player says. Option 1 of 4 Klaus, I'm sorry for showing up yesterday without writing. You had every right to be angry. Option 2 of 4 clause, I wanted to apologize for never writing back. I was so caught up in work, you know how it is, and I never got around to it. Option 3 of 4 clause, I'm sorry for never writing back. What happened here in Tassing, at Kearsarge? I just wanted to forget it. Player says I was too much of a coward to write back after hearing Bert and Marie passed. I'm sorry. Benjamin says. Rachel says. Casper says. Claus says Select food item to eat. Mushroom pottage. Mushroom pottage. Mushroom pottage. Mushroom pottage. Magdalene says PFFFF. Rachel says out. Oh, this is it. This is it. Benjamin says oh, no, I was afraid of this. We can't travel now. This is all my fault. We should have left Basel earlier. Rachel says I love you, Benjamin, but be quiet. I don't care. I need help. Benjamin says yes. We need a midwife. Is there one who would accept Rachel? Option 1 of 3 Agnes Steinauerin. She's Tassing's midwife. Option 2 of 3 I could fetch Dr. Stahls. Option 3 of 3 I have some medical experience. Option 1 of 3 Agnes Steinauerin. She's Tassing's midwife. Benjamin says could you get her? Player says Claus. Claus says yes, I should get her. Agnes has delivered every child in Tassing as long as I can remember. She would never turn any woman away. Benjamin says thank you, thank you, thank you. Claus, you're a mensch. Rachel says enough with the thanks, get me the midwife. Claus says yes. Andreas, you're forgiven. Casper, it was good to have you over, but you both have to leave. Option 1 of 2 of course. Option 2 of 2 thank you, Claus. Player says good luck, Rachel. Rachel says thank you. I'll need it. Claus says I'll go fetch Agnes. Thank you for joining us, Andreas. Oh, I almost forgot. You should go see the bonfire preparations in the town commons. You missed them on your last visit. Rachel says Claus. Claus says I'm going. Player says thank you, Claus. We'll be going. Claus says take care. Drucker House. Journal.
Recognizing result. Cinnamon. Ut. T Island. My. Page. Elam. Fin. TF. Caps. Libris. Yesterday. Brother Guy extended an invitation from the abbot to buy books from. Pierce's library. I should meet mother. Illuminata there. White perusing books for Magdalene in the Liberty. I stumbled upon one with handwriting that matches the note side. Discovered here in 1518. The writing in this book is not in the same curious purple ink, but the hand is unmistakable. True. LP. Art of the Dollar Transit Diet. Nosfit have a book that gives to Magdalene. Casper and I should head over to the Duckers for a meal. One just opened a better mood than he was yesterday. Claus had to hurry me out of the house after. Rachel went into the table, but he said one should. So to the commons to see the towns. Rachel went into the table, but he said so to the commons to see the towns. Preparations for St. John's Eve. Close. Pentiment.
Drucker House. Central Town. Town Commons. Player says everyone seems to be working hard for the bonfire tonight. The commons look festive, decorated like this. Casper says look at all the flowers, master. And the bonfire is huge. Otto says, how's the fire coming? Those logs work out alright for you. Entries. Lucky says, coming along as Ulrich says, nearly finished with entries says, it's all in place. Otto says, good, good. Alright, everyone. Remember, after the bonfire tonight, we celebrate as usual. We will all gather in the woods and the women will collect herbs as tradition demands. Thomas says, Otto, the abbot has forbidden harvesting in the forest. Please, for everyone's sake, reconsider your actions. Otto says, thank you, Father, but the abbot's order goes against God's law. The forest belongs to all of us, as do all its game and fowl and fish. He cannot claim ownership over that which the Lord gave us to hold in common. No. I'm sorry, Father. We'll proceed as planned. Tassing has never let anything get in the way of our St. John's customs as long as I can remember. We won't start now. And remember, tomorrow I will show you proof that as sure as the sun turns round the earth, God and our saints are with us. Wojciech says, good day, Andreas. Player says, hello, brother Wojciech. You look upset at Otto's announcement. Is everything alright? Wojciech says, Otto is becoming more aggressive in his defiance of the abbot. Father Gernot will not take this news well. Option 1 of 3, the abbot doesn't like the festivities. Option 2 of 3, well, who's telling? Wojciech says, Otto just announced his plan in the commons, and Tassing is a small town. Of course the abbot will hear about it. Player says, fair point. But why is the abbot so angry about it? Wojciech says, didn't you just hear Father Thomas, Andreas? The abbot declared the woods off limits. Anyway, it's not for me to say. I'm sure the abbot will tell you more. He sent me with an invitation for you to dine with him tonight. I'm sure the father will want to discuss the situation over supper. Option 1 of 3, of course I'll attend. Thank you, brother. Option 2 of 3, well. Option 1 of 3, of course I'll attend. Thank you, brother Wojciech. Option 2 of 3, well. I suppose I can attend. Option 3 of 3, you re-kidding. What does the abbot think he can pry out of me now? Option 1 of 3, of course I'll attend. Thank you, brother Wojciech. Player says, does the invitation extend to Casper as well? Wojciech says, I'm sorry, Andreas, but Father Abbot has asked you to come to his house alone. Casper says, we Player says, please tell the abbot I'll see him this evening. Well, I guess I'll see what all the fuss is about. I'll meet you back at the Golden Hand after dinner, alright? Casper says, can I help set up the festival decorations while you're with the abbot? Player says yes, but be back before sundown, alright? Casper says yes. Thank you, master. I'll see you later. Journal.
Recognizing result document. TTC Pickleton NMCCPC slash page. Gridlog. Liver Scout Mole. Max. Dirk Manu. Affinity. People 21 Glossary. St. John's Eve. N. Cat have a book gift to Magdalene. Yesterday, Brother Guy extended him. Invitation from the Abbot to buy books from. Here's his library. I should need mother. Illuminata there. Here's his library. I should need mother. Illuminata there. Here's his library. I should need mother. Illuminata there. White perusing books for Magdalene in the. Literally, I stumbled upon one with handwriting that matches the note side. Discovered here in 1518 the writing in this book is not in the same curious purple ink. But the hand is unmistakable. Casper and one took that over to the. That first form you used to Catacina. Better news than he was yesterday. Boss had to tie me out of the house after. Rachel went into favor, but he said one should. So to the commons to see the towns. Preparations for St. John's Eve. I saw Brother Joyce at the bonfire. Preparations and he told me he ate the adjournment. And invited me to join him for supper. I should meet him at the abbot's house. Should meet him at the abbot's house. Pentiment.